Schrager, bitch!
Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to be the host on Nick's channel for Walkernation. I hope you guys like this little podcast. Nick actually wanted to do a podcast for all of you and introduce his mom, Mrs. Walker.
Hi.
Hello, Mrs. Walker.
Hi.
And basically, we're just going to kind of tackle it from here. We're just going to be asking questions. She might say a little bit of embarrassing stuff about Nick, but that's okay. I'll just get right into it, Mrs. Walker. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank
but
you.
I have to get into this with, how do you feel about Nick bodybuilding, number one?
I wasn't crazy about it in the beginning, but after 8 years now, I'm into it.
I hear you. I mean, honestly, did you think he'd ever get to the point he's at where he's trending all over social media? He's becoming a viral sensation before he became pro?
Yes. I knew he was going to. Nick was always good at everything he did.
Always put his mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nick, another thing from you, I remember seeing your podcast from the other day. You said you were really into sports. And, how do you think having, your dedication for sports in high school and everything, like just being competitive, do you think that competitiveness is actually coming into your bodybuilding career now?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was even, like I said, baseball was my number one sport. So I had to be the best there. And that just carried on with me through everything in life that I put my mind to. And when it comes to bodybuilding, I have to be the best.
And obviously, for those of you that know, me and Nick started working together about, 5-6 weeks ago. And I've been his content creator. And personally, it's really interesting when we actually collaborate together. I really don't feel like I'm working sometimes. I always spit back ideas with him, and he's always down to do just more content, even being 2 weeks out where he's at right now, under 10 days, where we at 9 days now.
It's 10, right? I think it's 10 officially 10. Today.
The content that we make, we're just pumping it out as much as we can for YouTube. And like I said, the positive feedback we're getting from all of you guys, we love it. Even the negative feedback we love, because honestly, you need to go with the bad sometimes. But honestly, Nick told me a couple of weeks ago he wanted to do a podcast with his mom. He said, my mom's my biggest supporter. What did you mean by that, Nick? What does your mom do that you feel that she is the most supportive with all this? And we can be honest here.
Truthfully, like she said, when I first started bodybuilding, she didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
My first prep, going all the way back, was horrendous. I hired a coach when I was probably a good 4 to 6 weeks out, I think. And from there, I was pretty much starved really bad, to the point where I lashed out completely really bad, very angry. And I remember her saying, "You're never doing this again. Like this is the last time
like,
you are
hey,
ever doing this.
Once we get out of this last show, you're never doing this again."
I was like, you're done.
Yeah. So after I did my first show, I thoroughly enjoyed being on stage, and I knew that everything went completely wrong for that show. So I remember, literally right after the show, I told her I'm doing another one. And she was like, "No, you're not. No, you're not." I'm like, "No, not now, like next year."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, we'll see." So when I took the whole year off, put the size back on, and I competed at the Eastern USA and East Coast, I looked completely different. And still, my mom was supportive, but I think she was, still.
Yeah.
And then once I won both teen divisions and placed third in the light heavyweight, I think that's when she started to come around even more, and knew I had the potential to be something good. And then in 2014, I did teen nationals, and I was going against Cody. And my mom's a very blunt person, and she always said to me, she's like, "Don't expect to win. It's Cody." Sounds, that would, piss me off.
Yeah, of
but
course.
she was preparing me.
Yeah, of course.
She knew what was going to happen, and she prepared me for it. But I think
she's protecting you at the same time
yes.
as kind of humiliating you, but being that
Real.
it was being as real as she could, which I would expect from your mom.
for sure. And I think, you know, even though I did take second, it wasn't. I didn't lose by a long shot. It was like
Yeah.
That was
to the
close.
nitty gritty.
I could see if you're 14th place.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
All right, you know.
So after that, I didn't compete in 2015. In 2016, I competed in the South Jersey Championships where I won the overall there. And then another 6 weeks later, I did my first real national show of the USA's. And that was a time when, you know, the diet was extremely hard. Like, I never went to the levels that I was going to as far as cardio.
Yeah.
The real dieting, like real bodybuilding
Like
at this
dialing
point.
in, yeah.
And that's when I really looked at my mom and I was like, I need help.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to cook my food. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And she did it all. She would, every day, she'd cook my food. Whatever I needed, my mom would do it. And I think that was the point where she was 100% on board now. She was like, okay. And then I placed 6th at my first national show as a light heavy. And, you know, I got great feedback from all the, you know, top people. And from there on, she was on board. You know, then the next year, we did the North Americans as my first national show of that year. And I got deprived again a little bit of food, and I couldn't fill back out. So I was completely flat. So nothing popped. You know, I placed 6th, but I do think that was a little bit of a gift.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this moment. We're walking back to the room, to the hotel room. It's complete silence.
Yeah.
Like it's me, my mom, and my dad, where no one's saying a word. And I knew I looked horrible. But my mom goes, you know, Nick, you look like shit. And I'm like, right now you got to say that? You couldn't have waited a couple hours?
Yeah,
like,
right.
couldn't let me digest what just happened?
It's just like, hey, you know, you already got the wound. We're not putting the Band-Aid on.
Exactly.
We're just going to clean it up and then put the Band-Aid on.
And I was angry. I knew I didn't look my best. So then I remember I came to her and I said, I'm going to do nationals. I got with another coach and I said, I'm doing nationals.
Yeah.
She was like, why? Take the year off.
Yeah, right.
You got to get better. And I'm like, no, that wasn't the way I was supposed to look. I'm not done.
Yeah.
So I'm still placing 6th at nationals in 2017, but I looked a lot better. You know, I gained like 15 extra pounds, and came at the top of the heavy, so that was cool. I didn't compete in 2018. Then 2019, which was the first year, me and Matt Jansen did our first prep together.
Yeah.
And even then,
Move the mic a little bit closer to your face.
and
Like,
then
direct it. Yeah, you see how the difference when I can actually hear you?
and then from there, like she was really on board to the point, like even now she does all my morning pictures.
Yeah.
Every
He told me that and I was like, wow.
morning.
I said, that's
Every morning.
and he told
before
me
work.
because North Americans is coming up. It's going to be outside this year due to the pandemic. He said you guys have actually been doing posing outside in the heat,
Yep.
which I think is a very, very smart idea
Yeah.
because I can tell you that all the tanner we put on you or bronzer is probably going to leak off if you weren't practicing outside.
Yeah.
Which I was just talking to people today about it. I said, I don't know how they're going to be able to do this underneath a tent because tents get very hot.
Well, they have. I know. I've seen they
have fans.
They have like ventilators. going on,
Ventilators and
so
stuff.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
I think it'll still be hot, than being inside, but we'll see how it goes. I'm still, it's not going to bother me. But even now, she low keys looks at all my competitors. She lets me know who's who.
Well, I know. She was looking at my stuff. She was
Yeah,
telling
she
me
looks
earlier.
at
Telling me, oh, that girl you
Yeah.
shot, she looked pretty good. I'm like, wow, I'm glad that someone keeps up with me.
She's always giving me encouraging, like even when I get to, get a little stressed, and I start to get my own head. She's like, relax.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is be the best you can be. It's in the judge's hands. All you need to do is just show up at your best. And, at that point, it does bring me back a little bit
Yeah.
and less stressful because it's true. The only thing I can do is, listen to what Matt tells me to do, which I think we're going to, have a great package in less than 10 days.
I think Matt has a great approach
Yes.
for you. And like I said, he does treat you like an all-star. Even though he has other athletes, I believe he puts a lot of pride in all of his clients. And he actually, with you, I think he has such a vision for you that he knows you're going to be pro. He knows that you're going to be taking over. I mean, he puts a lot of faith in you, and I've noticed that a lot with Matt, even talking to him on the phone when he talks about you. He wants the best for you, and that's a difference between all these other coaches that are just out to make money and make a name for themselves.
He truly cares.
Yeah, and again, I've only known him for a month and a half, but when I was talking to Matt, and every time he's ever brought you up and we've talked about certain stuff, it's always make sure Nick gets this, make sure Nick that. Like, it's always like he's always making sure you're taken care of.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing. And like I said, I was never a Matt Jansen fan because I didn't know anybody that was trained by him. Like I said, I've heard about him, but like to actually work with you all the time and to, you guys talk every day. I hear the things that he says to you. It's a little, I know that you're well taken care of. And like I said, this prep, I remember in the gym the other day, you told me last year you were a little more stressed in your head. And then this year you're just kind of having fun. Like, you're not letting it get to you. And I think primarily when we started doing more content, even being, 4 weeks out, 4 to 6 weeks out, you weren't miserable. Like I said, we were still having fun on camera. We were still,
Well, this is the best prep he's ever had.
Yeah. And honestly, it's just, connecting and actually getting your content done. Your YouTube page is flying out of control right now. I obviously see the analytics every day. I see the comments, and I see everything that all of your hard work over the years you put in is actually being applied. But here's the thing. It's at the right time. This is the right time. This is everything.
Yeah. I waited until I was well known. Anybody can start a YouTube. Anybody can start anything. But if you're not known, it's, could go up and down. If you, like you said, you wait till the right moment, it's more than likely it's going to take off.
Yeah.
And that's the position I put myself in. And
there was a lot of, I remember seeing your content, and like I said, I feel like it was only here and there I was seeing content that was really moving me. And then once we started putting out crazy content and it was consistent 1 to 3 times a day, that's when I saw the wave just pile. Like, I mean, literally, the analytics blew up overnight. The comments, the repost, everything that was going on. I mean, honestly, it's like, and you're like I said, you're on your way to being pro, and you're not even a pro bodybuilder yet, and people are already acting this way. And I can't imagine. I mean, once he does, it's just going to be one thing after another, and I think it's really going to blow up even more. So this wave is just keep getting bigger with you. And I'm glad that I could actually contribute and help you out with this because, like I said, I have fun with you. I remember when we met a couple months ago when Tilla's gym in Belmar reopened, and I remember looking at you. I was like, dude, this dude is huge. And I remember looking at your calves. I was like, Jesus. But I remember I said to you, I was like, hey, man, I said, I'm Brandon. I said, I do a lot of video and photography. I said, if you want any clips done that I do, let me know. I said, I got you. It's part of my resume. I'll show you what I
ended up
can do.
filming that whole workout.
Yeah, and I literally, I was supposed to be filming Attila's, so I was running back and forth, but we ended up filming the entire workout. And I sent it over, and like I said, from that point on, I even put up bloopers of you because I was telling people after, I said, this dude is so funny to work out and film at the same time, and it was hilarious, man. And just from that point on, the traction on my channel took off, and I was like, wow. I said, his personality on camera, and you do have a personality, and I think that's what brings people to your channel the most.
Well, yeah, because I think they were so used at one point just seeing workout videos, and that was it.
Yeah.
So once they saw another side, it was a whole new traction now.
Yeah.
So.
No, I totally agree on that one. I think you went from, your typical hardcore bodybuilder to now you're exploring more different areas where we're trying to actually give back. And like I said, it's PR type stuff. The other day when Seth Feroci was with us and, people are coming up to you saying, sign my belt, sign this, sign that. And I'm just like, dude, I can't wait until we go to these expos and I'm just filming you signing thousands and thousands of these photos of you. And it's a cool process to be a part of, man. Like I said, I'm very thankful I can be a part of it. And let's get back to your mom's questions, because I feel like we could have this conversation
We
all
could.
day. But do you feel, how should I answer this question? Is there any times that you feel that Nick is going too far with things, meaning, you know, his diet gets to him and you have to say, listen, for this entire night, I don't want you to be on your diet? Is there any, like, times you pull him aside? Like I said, I know you told me that she does calm you down, but, like, are there times where you're just like, listen, Nick, like, you're going to be the best. You sit him down. Like, do you prep talk him all the time? Do you ever just pull him
Not
aside?
all the time, but we're like the same person.
I've noticed.
So we
I definitely have noticed that.
we fight a lot too,
Yeah,
because
of
we have to
course.
have the last word.
Of course.
Nobody's gonna give in.
Yeah.
So we
Stubborn
go back
people,
and forth,
yeah.
but I
Very.
try to keep them in line the best I can. But you know, he's
That's-
bigger than me now. So there's not much I could do, right?
I think after all the bodybuilders I've seen over the years, I really haven't seen bodybuilders that had such a great connection with their mother to the point where they were so comfortable with the bodybuilding, because it's, you know, in this industry, it's always like, you know, you're too big, you're too this, you're too that. And, you know, I think Nick's at a healthy point with, you know, his conditioning, with everything. You know, there's sometimes I'm picking up weights and I'm dying, and it's like light stuff, and he's picking it up. And I've noticed your breathing is on point. Like, you're not out of shape. I mean, we were pushing 150s the other day. I mean, you, literally, I know people that are a couple weeks out and they can barely walk. Like, I mean, walking a couple steps, they get
Well, we
tired.
make sure health is first.
Of course.
It's very important, especially because
Yeah.
I'm his mom. So.
Of course. No, and
So that's important.
that's 100% what I would think too. But I was just so surprised, you know, coming up to these final weeks. I was waiting for it, you know, Nick to maybe lash out over certain ideas I had, because, you know, when we're at the gym, I'm just like, yo, do this. And he's like, all right, cool, we'll do that. Like, he's,
A couple years ago, we might have,
Yeah, a couple years ago, I might have told you to fuck off or something. But
but this prep is really good. Trust me.
so do you guys still have the same mindset? You know, Nick wants to be a business bodybuilder. He wants to make this, you know, his income from all these different outlets, you know. Are you, obviously you're supportive of that, but do you think that is the way to go? Do you agree with it?
Well, I always told him, always have a plan B,
Of course.
because if you get hurt, you know, it's sports related. And he told me people that have plan Bs don't think they're going to succeed at plan A. I'm
That's-
like,
I've heard that. too.
okay. That was his answer every time I said it. But I'm like, you need to have something else,
Yeah.
you know? And I follow Jay Cutler, too. He's one of my favorites. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you need to learn from that.
Jay Cutler is also one of my favorites, to be honest with you. Little short story is, when I was about 14 years old, neighbor up the street from mine, he actually used to be a bodybuilder, and he was throwing out a whole thing of magazines, and they were all Jay Cutler covers. He was a Jay Cutler fan, but they were older, like it was from years, and he actually gave them to me, and I had them for like the next 6 years, and I used to look through them all the time. And Jay Cutler was, and that's, I don't want to say I compare Jay Cutler to Nick, but at the same time, their builds are just so similar in some ways, you know, with your legs, your back, everything. And it's just crazy, you know, how life's putting out, like, you know, who else? I think Kevin Laroni was your next bodybuilder, and then who was the other one? Was it Ronnie Coleman? Like, out of the
Yeah.
3 bodybuilders you like?
no, Dorian Yates.
Wow, Dorian Yates. And Dorian Yates, man, back in the day, watching all that stuff.
Because he like represented why I started. You know, he was the quiet, hardcore, grungy lifter.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was into. And back in that day, you could be like that because of the contracts. And there was no social media.
Yeah.
You know, if you were the big timer, you got the Flex magazine covers, you got the big contracts, you could go hide in the dark. You were fine.
Yeah.
But now with social media, you have to put yourself out there. You can't do that anymore.
In the last 10 years, I think social media has just spiraled out of control. Even in the last few years, with, I think TikTok's only a couple years old,
TikTok.
and they went out of control. And
Yeah.
you just see how the social media platforms, but again, these companies are getting involved now. They want more and more people on the platforms showing things, and they also want to see different sides of bodybuilding. Like you said, back in the day, I lived for those animal pack moments, like with Frank McGrath and all those grungy type workouts. And now it's kind of mainstream where like people are like, you know what, let's change this up a bit. You know, bodybuilders are regular people. They do regular stuff. And I mean, honestly, like Evan Sinapani, he was obviously, his physique was amazing, but like he actually, I remember following his I think it was when he used to do his diets and what he eats and stuff for his YouTube channel, and I was like, just how intelligent he was with all the stuff he researched. And I'm
He's
like,
very smart.
that's what I'm saying. And like, you know, I try to tell people all the time, because the stereotype is always being the same. Bodybuilders are stupid. They're mongoloids. They're these cavemen. like they, and that's what people say, and they make fun of it. And I'm like, you can't be pro. You can't go pro and you can't bodybuild. Like, you can't do any of this stuff. It's all a science. You have to do all these things. You got to have great genetics, and you have to move forward with that.
Right.
And, you know, I think Jay Cutler moved forward with being a successful bodybuilder. It's a businessman now, where he's making, you know, boatloads of money, and he's actually represented the social media pretty well. And I'm trying to steer us towards there when it comes to the content creation. You know, me and Nick, after the show, I have so many ideas for what we're going to do for this YouTube channel. But I kind of holding off until after the show because I'm waiting for like a week after. So, so because every idea, like, I'm just so psyched about. I could tell he's excited, but he's like, I don't want to think about it right now. Just think about this. But honestly, man, I'm excited to go to North Americans because I know you're going to do great. Honestly, yeah, fingers crossed. Obviously, your mom's going to be there. We're all going to be there cheering you on.
She's never missed a show.
And that, I just can't imagine. We're
I thought
be
all
outside
moms
intense.
did that. I mean, it's your kid.
I had friends in the bodybuilding industry where their parents actually wouldn't show up. It'd be friends and family, but like brother and sister. But like some parents were so against it, they're like, I'm not showing up. And
Oh my God, I used to tan him. I did.
Oh, she did, yeah. Before we went to go get like professional tan,
Yeah,
she,
yeah.
you know, get the little brush or
You go to
whatever.
Home Depot. The
Yep.
brush.
I learned, so I want to write a book on what to do.
Well, we got
because
someone for that.
Yeah, we got
I
someone
have
for
learned
that.
so many tricks of the trade because nobody helped me. And you ask him to ask somebody. Guys don't like to ask other guys questions.
Yeah, that's true. We could start a YouTube channel with you for the moms of bodybuilders that are trying to get into it, and you can teach them the little tips and tricks.
Oh, I have so much that I learned
Oh my God.
from asking questions.
The ideas. Were you that type of mom when you went to shows? If you saw like other people there, would you ask them questions, or would you talk to people?
I'll tell you a story. When we were going to
Story one.
when
Yeah,
we were
story
going
one.
to nationals, I'm like, after we went to Vegas, it was a nightmare with the food.
Yeah.
Me and his father went to every Walmart, every grocery store. We were not prepared. It was a zoo.
Yeah.
So I saw a video of John Jewett before he got his pro card when he was going to Vegas. And he had a video of all this food on the table he was packing. So I contacted him personally. I'm like, "Hi, this is Nick Walker's mom." I don't even know him, but I was like, "Look, I saw your video. We're going to Miami. How did you get all this food? Like, what did you do? I need to know." So he told me exactly what he did. He cooked all the meat. He froze it. Packed it in a suitcase, checked it as luggage.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it it's wonderful.
So I've actually never ventured into that. So when it comes to the meals and everything, you freeze it and then you put it in your checked bags.
Yes, I would freeze
When
it.
flying, yeah.
Yeah,
When
I
flying.
would get in the grocery store. They have like these big freezer bags.
Yeah.
I would pack it all in there, pack the vegetables.
Already pre-cooked?
Yeah,
Everything's all pre-cooked?
everything's frozen.
Yeah, it's all frozen.
And it was so good. Like, even if sitting on a hot plane in Miami, like, it would be in that suitcase
still be
for
frozen.
a good 5-6 hours by the time you checked into your hotel, got the rent-a-car, the whole 9 yards.
I always thought about that.
It was still frozen.
Yeah.
And we'd put it in the refrigerator at the hotel, and he'd just eat it as he went. Like,
Because they don't let you in at all in the airports with any type of food. Like, as soon as if you have a water bottle, they tell you to throw it out because you got to buy the water
Well,
bottle
yeah.
at the airport, so you
You
can't
just
have anything.
check. You just put it in a check bag, and
I would overpack everything because I overdo just in case. I don't want to
Yeah.
be caught, so it would always be overweight. I'd always have to pay an overweight charge,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's still cheaper than buying all that stuff when you're out there and running around and
Well,
going
especially
crazy.
yes, but I can't even imagine that. That's
Yeah,
insane.
so that's a
That's
that
a,
was I
it's
wish
a quick tip for you, everybody.
yeah I wish I had learned
quick
that.
tip Tuesday.
Wish I learned that a lot sooner. And then
my
when I
God.
was tanning them, I had no idea at first that they did tanning.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I could
yeah,
pay
yeah,
for,
yeah.
and then once I paid for it, I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
god, this
I'm
is
not
so
doing
much
this
better.
ever again.
Never doing it again.
I'm never
Not
tanning
ruining
you
bed
again.
sheets
Yeah.
ever again, towels, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, so
All right,
it was
well,
nice.
we're running up on the little break we're going to have, everybody. So stay tuned. I'm going to be right back. I want to ask Mrs. Walker some more questions. Might be a little embarrassing, but Nick's going to get through it, I promise. Back to the channel. So before we went on our little break, I had some questions I wanted to ask Nick's mom. And I want to basically ask, obviously you follow the YouTube channel because you keep up with everything else.
Right.
How do you feel about the negative comments that you've been hearing about Nick, you know, the stuff going on with people bashing him or, you know, I feel like there's a lot of positive comments, but I feel like there's a lot of negativity that's going towards Nick.
Well, I keep track of everything that everyone says and who says it.
It's okay, everybody.
So someday it's going to come back.
Yeah, it's going to come back.
But no, I really don't appreciate the comments about him going to die in 5 years. And,
Yeah.
you know, they make those comments. That is somebody's son. He is my son. Like, that's horrible to say when they have no clue what he's doing, how he's doing it, or anything else.
Yeah. I do breeze through the comments, and I do try to delete some of them, and I do like to block certain people. There was one guy that was putting up comments. I couldn't even pronounce his name, to tell you the truth. Probably
You
from
can't
overseas.
pronounce. They're all fake
Yeah,
profiles.
yeah.
Majority of them.
Well, a
And,
lot of them are uneducated. You could tell by
Oh,
the
of course.
comments that they make. They have no clue what they're talking
Of course.
A lot of the negativity comes from the ones that try to do what I do
Yeah.
and can't. And
That's
they
true.
think, you know, they have probably, without getting too in detail, they probably have tested every boundary possible
Of course.
with high limits possible and couldn't, you know, can't achieve the things that I've achieved.
Of course.
You know, that's why genetics do play a huge role in this, which a lot of people don't understand.
Speaking of genetics, I got to obviously comment on your calves. I hear the comments that people give Nick on his calves with the, how do you pronounce it?
Varicose veins.
Varicose veins, yeah. My grandmother had some of them, so they probably get along. But how do you feel when people make negative comments about that?
Oh my God, it drives me crazy. I want to respond to everybody's comments because my grandmother had them. They come from my side of the family. My grandmother had them, who lived till she was 99 years old.
Yeah.
Her sister, my great aunt, had them.
Yeah.
My mother has them, who is almost 80, and she's still hanging in there.
Of course.
I have them. I had procedures done on mine.
Yeah.
Both my sons have them.
My mother doesn't bodybuild, by the way. Nor does she ever work out.
Well, I
No.
think I
Nor does she
honestly-
ever eat healthy.
I can't afford to. No.
She enjoys her Reese cups on the daily.
Yes, I do.
I can tell you right now, I enjoy some Reese cups on the daily. So. And I just said before I came in here, I'm on my binge with Diet Coke. Diet Coke's one of those things at the end of the day I have to drink. Most people have a beer at the end of the day. Me, I'm just like, just give me a Diet Coke.
I have
sometimes.
both.
But no, I know growing up as a child, I had what my grandmother has. My grandmother has very thin skin. So it played a good advantage when I was, there was a picture, and I'm going to try to find it. It might go viral. I was sitting on the toilet eating a carrot. I was like 2 years old. And it was one of those little wooden toilets that like everyone has. You can take the bottom out, whatever. And And as I'm laughing, I'm putting my neck up, and my whole chest has veins coming out of it. And I was like, can you imagine if we were like around this time, like releasing a photo like that? Like it really looked like I was a kid that worked out. And like literally like the vascularity that comes out like was insane. And I used to get picked on in middle school for that, like in the locker rooms and stuff. And people goes, you have weird veins sticking out of your chest. And I think everything comes down to genetics. And I can tell that Nick's genetics are definitely his biceps and his calves, because we don't ever really touch up on workouts with them. We do them, but in all reality,
they're not the main. I don't think I've ever done calves on camera.
I'm not
or
gonna
at
lie,
all. Period.
I've never seen you do calves.
You know, we do biceps or triceps at the end of a little workout, and
Yes, everybody, I'm saying I've never seen him do calves, and that's the realest statement. In 6 weeks, I've never seen him do any calves or even mention.
sometimes
any
I feel like I
calves.
should just be like, I do them sometimes.
I feel like we should touch up some workouts, but mainly we don't.
Well,
really,
it feels so weird sometimes. People are like, "What do you do for calves?" Nothing.
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, what do you mean?" I'm
And
like,
people
"I don't
look at you and they're like, "Oh, he just doesn't want to tell us anything." But in
Yeah.
reality, it's like
Sometimes I want to be like, "Let me take a picture of my mom's calves for you, and you might understand."
right.
She never does them neither.
Listen, my dad was a bread man for 30 years, and he walked up and down stairs for like 20 of those years, and he had ginormous calves. It looked like he really could go on a show just based off his calves. And I actually was luckily, I got his height, which is not good. I'm 5'6", but
We're short people
yeah.
We're
here.
short too, yeah.
but
This is the Hobbit household.
in all reality of it, I got his calf muscles, thank God, which was a good.
Yeah, I got my
side
mom's.
factor.
I didn't get my dad's. He ran his off.
Yeah, he's got skinny legs.
But I have seen mentioning the comments though. People do mention Dallas Macarthur the most. Why do you think that they mention Dallas Macarthur so much relating to Nick?
I don't know. Maybe because Matt's his coach,
Yeah.
and he's getting a lot of
Publicity.
I'm not sure what it is, but I don't think they're anything alike.
I don't think they're anything alike at all. I think Dallas was a great, genuine guy.
Right.
And I think we can relate that to Nick because
Right.
Nick, I mean, he's a special breed. I mean, literally, the other day, like I said, with Seth Feroci, and we're signing people's stuff, and you're like, yeah, man, I want to take photos. And, like, I remember you looked over to me, and you're like, this is pretty cool signing stuff. Like,
It was.
yeah, it was
I've
pretty
never
cool.
done
And,
it.
like, the humble side of that is, like, amazing. And I think Dallas was the same way. Like, I remember people
Right.
telling me he was a hardcore person when it came to training. And I used to watch his training videos, and I honestly used to live off those videos. I was like, damn, this dude's doing these crazy
Fucking
workouts.
right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, who he was as a person, a genuinely good guy, I think we can relate that to Nick. I think both their bodies are completely different.
Right, that's what I was going to
But
say.
I will agree that both of them just had that was genetics and also just like work ethic that sticks with people. And
Yeah.
that's why I can't ever really be mad at some of those comments when they mention, well, Dallas. Well, yeah, they both have the same work ethic. It was just work hard as shit. And
Right.
you got to respect people that actually do that. And but I have blocked multiple people on the YouTube channel that just keep mentioning Dallas's name and stuff. One dude wrote it like 50 times, and I literally deleted it. And
Yeah, it's like enough already.
I was like, all right, we get it. Matt used to train him. This is Matt's client, but at the same time, different body types. Obviously, I think how tall was he?
He was tall. He was
Yeah, I
at
think
least
he
6
was-
foot
Yeah, he
or
was
taller.
huge, man.
yeah,
pretty
they're
sure. He's
yeah,
just-
he was big.
Well, I think we get compared in the sense of how fast we grew
Yeah, of course.
and how young we are.
Yeah. Well, Dallas, how old was Dallas? 25?
26.
26?
I believe he was 26.
And
yeah.
I remember when he showed the picture from like when he was 22, when he was like 330 or something, like 305, like he was huge. And then he cut all the way down to his first show. And I miss seeing the content that he used to put out. And I can kind of relate it in a sense to our content, but we put a little bit more life into it and try talking to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
community more. We try talking more fans and stuff. But same thing when it comes down to leg workouts and just you in the gym. Like I said this the other day because we were filming a YouTube vlog and we're at Attila's, And literally, we're joking about something. I don't even know what we were joking about, but we're just laughing. And then all of a sudden, it's like this switch goes right off, and he goes right into doing his leg workout that he almost literally dies doing because we're pushing so much weight. And I'm just, that's the biggest thing right there is that I know so many bodybuilders that I filmed where they're just so hardcore. They don't even want to talk on camera. They don't want to look at the camera. And the fact that Nick can just go do 900 pounds on a leg press, almost die, and then still have a laugh or still have a smile and then talk to the viewers, it separates you from a lot of people. Like it really does. And there's so many things that I'll probably put towards the end of the year as bloopers on what Nick says, and it's hilarious. But there's just some stuff I can't put in there because we have to have a serious workout sometimes. But it adds a lot of character when you really are just being yourself.
It's because he truly loves it.
Yeah.
You have to love training before you love competing.
Of course.
Because if you do it just for the competing purposes or even just for the Instagram fame, it's not going to last long.
That's true.
Like I know when I'm done competing, whenever that time comes, I'm still going to work out every day. It's what I love to do. It's me. It's part of me. It's who I am.
Yeah.
You know, Jay Cutler, for example, he still trains every day. Yeah. You know, you have to love training.
It's kind of like Navy SEAL training. I don't know if you've ever read books on it, but people keep up.
I don't read, man.
No.
Doesn't read. He just YouTube all day. He'll read the comments on his videos.
I am reading the book Matt Jansen got me. That's a good book.
Okay.
But I would probably feel better if I was able to, get put on my headphones and I listen to somebody.
Audiobook.
Let them read it as I'm just kind of,
I'll take notes for Christmas time when I get you something. So, but I mean, like with Navy SEAL training, there was guys that were retired, and they said they still woke up at 3 a.m. and they did their workouts, and they said their morning workouts stabilized their mindset.
It does.
It kept them mentally
The
focused.
only difference from just working out and having that passion with competing is the stress that comes behind competing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well,
because once you separate, because I even for me, I know when I get close to a show, I don't care who you are, you're going to get a little stressful.
Yeah.
You're going to apply that pressure on yourself. It does not matter. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? And then as soon as competing's done, in a sense, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. Like we got through it.
Yeah.
And then all you have to worry about is training now.
Yeah.
And not that competing, it's not fun anymore, but when it's done, you enjoy the off season now. You just have to worry about training and lifting heavy weight.
Yeah.
And doing that, it becomes more fun.
Yeah, of course.
When you don't have to focus on a show yet.
Yeah. Well, even that, I've known people to be 16, 17 weeks out. I just signed a couple people to do video content for their show that's 20 weeks away, and I already see the stress in their eyes, and I'm just like, I'm 2 weeks out with Nick Walker, and he's still loving everything that's going on. So that's a big separation between you.
You'll never hear me complain about training. You'll never really hear me complain about the aspect of all of it because I embrace it all. But training is definitely, you'll never hear me. I don't care if I'm dragging myself to the gym.
Yeah.
You'll never hear me say I don't feel like working out today. Never.
I don't think I ever heard you complain, even with the diet, because I'll say, have you changed anything up? But I don't think you've changed much up. You just really kept a little cardio in here and there. But
yeah, like now being 10 days out, we've definitely stepped up the cardio. Like today was the first or second time in, 4 or 5 weeks we did 40 minutes. Yeah. And we implemented the stairs now. But I enjoy it. I do. Like it's it's because I know it's gonna benefit me down the road. I know the reward of making all these sacrifices and killing yourself in the gym, killing yourself on cardio, killing yourself on the diet. When I win, it makes everything worth it.
Well, I've always said this since day one. I feel like you have a vision that nobody else sees, and even your mom might see partial it. I think you yourself have a vision of where you want to stand in life and where you want to be.
I told Matt, and people can talk shit and say it's unrealistic, whatever, but I always believe you have to reach for the skies no matter what.
Of course.
And I told Matt I'm gonna win 10 Olympias. I'm going to win 10. And I told him the other day, I said, when I win my first one, I'm giving you my first send out to put in your house.
I remember you said that.
And at first he said no. He says, "You that's for you. I want you to. I'll just take your jacket."
He's gonna have to fight me for it.
And he's like, I'd appreciate it if I just had your Olympia jacket. And that's when I replied. I said, "Man, I'm gonna win 10. I want you to have the first one." And he was like, "Okay, deal." I will not be done after 1. I won't be done after 2, because now, with the way I am, as competitive as I am, it's just going to be more competitive now.
Of course.
You can't be done after 1.
He's always been competitive.
You win 1, you gain the respect of being Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
You're there.
You got to keep.
You
it
win
going.
2,
Yeah.
you're solidified.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you earned it now.
Yeah.
You keep going, it's yours.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to be.
And just keep it moving forward.
Yeah.
Oh God, who was on the podcast the other day? Who was the other guy that they were mentioning? And you were like, "No, I'm winning. I'm winning first. I'm getting this."
Nate,
Yeah, Nate. Who is Nate again?
my competitor.
He's the competitor, right?
Yeah.
Is that the
Why
guy
not?
you showed me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, Nate. Not gonna comment. I heard you're a good dude, but I'm not gonna comment.
Even Nate. I love Nate. Me and Nate actually have a very good friendship.
Yeah.
And I wish him the best of luck. But at the end of the day, this is a competition.
Yeah, it is a
And we're here to
competition.
win. And I said, I believe I said during the Jose interview I did, I expect Nate Spear to say about me or to me or anyone's friend, I'm going to beat Nick.
Yeah.
Like I expect.
Again.
I don't take it personal. I don't take offense to it, because that's the mindset you should have. The only way you can go into a show saying I expect to get top 6 or this or that is your first national show.
Yeah.
It's your first one, right? You want to at least aim for a certain spot so you belong.
Yeah.
Your pro debut,
Yeah.
and your first Olympia. Those are the only 3 exceptions. If you're a veteran and this is like your 3rd, 4th, 5th, national show,
Yeah.
there's no excuse you don't have the mindset of I'm winning this and I'm going pro. That's it.
Of course. I think, like I said, I've heard a few people talk about Nate, and they say he's a really good guy.
He is.
I'm gonna see him at the show, and like I said, after you take first, I'm gonna say, hey, you guys want to take a picture together? Because at the end of the day, dude, you guys are all fighting for the same thing, and at the same time,
we all go through the same shit.
Yeah, of course.
We're all and I know he's dieting hard.
Yeah.
I know he's training hard.
Yeah.
And I know he's doing everything he can. So like I said, at the end of the day, even though it's a competition, there is always going to be that respect factor there.
Of course.
No matter what.
Well,
And that should how it be for all bodybuilders. Like, I'm not out. I don't have enemies here.
Yeah.
There should never be enemies. But like again, this is a competition. But when it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
Now there's the respect comes back, and we're all friends.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Like,
I've seen competitors work with each other, work out together, talk to each other.
Yeah, like for example, Ian and Hunter at the Tampa Pro, they were competitive the entire time. And guess what? When the show was over, Ian went over to Hunter's house and ate pizza with him and his family. Like that's just how it is.
And that's the type of stuff that makes the sport fun, because you both are killing each other in the gym. You're both killing each other with diet, and you're to the point where you're pushing so hard. We're gonna see. This is a competition. And like I said, we're going to see who brings the best package. You bring the best package, and it is what it is. And when you can look at each other as men, shake hands, and say, dude, good luck. I mean, that's real sportsmanship. It ain't.
It is. You have to.
You got to bring your package.
Even last year when I lost to Merkel, the first thing I did was shake his hand and say congratulations.
Yeah.
You don't do that. That shows people who you are.
Of course.
And that's you don't want to be known as something like that.
Of course.
You don't. It's not. Doesn't look good on you.
Oh, of course.
And it doesn't represent you. Doesn't represent the sport. Doesn't represent your family or even whoever's coaching you good. Like it just doesn't represent in a good way.
Well, I've noticed since we've been working together, you really treat yourself. We've been branding you. Like you treat yourself as a business and like a type of brand when it comes to Walkernation. Like you want to give back, and that's what I think so great is that we're trying to educate people on workout tips. We're always asking people
for
to
sure
comment.
because not to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
But my mother always raised me. Even now she still tells me with all the shit happening, don't forget where you came from.
Yeah.
And that does mean a lot because I was once that kid that needed help.
Yeah.
That looked for proper guidance. That little dork in the gym.
Yeah.
You know. So when I can help as many people as I can, I will. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like 2 weeks out, I'm
Yeah,
training.
yeah,
Don't ask me questions. I'm just kidding. Not really, a little bit. But the point is,
it's partially true, but I think it's crazy because there's some people that will stare at Nick, like the kid the other day at Attila's. He's staring, he's flexing, he's looking in the mirror, and then he goes, hey, bro, you mind if we get a picture? And you're like, sure. And we take a picture with him, and it's just like, we gotta just step back and just think like, these guys want to be in your place.
For sure.
They're looking at you, and they're getting motivated, looking in the mirror. They're like, I can be this one day.
And here's another thing. The only thing that I can say is I have no problem taking 1 million photos during my workout. I don't.
Of course.
But people also have to understand this is sort of like my job.
Yeah.
You know?
And you take it very seriously.
If like I actually don't like when people try to interrupt my workout if I'm doing a set.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to ask me a question, ask your question during a set.
Yeah.
You know, go, you want to take a pic, whatever, and go about your day. But don't try to have a 20-minute convo. You know, I find that actually a little rude.
Like when we're at Body Dynamics.
Yeah, it's
the guy
like
wanted to talk about a diet. And
it's like if you're
tips.
at football, your football practice, and you're training for, you don't want to be bothered right now.
Yeah.
You know, and this isn't to say don't come up to me and take pictures. It doesn't bother me, but don't try to have a 30-minute convo while I'm trying to get my workout in, being 2 weeks out. You know,
Well, I noticed that when you're doing your leg workouts, not one person looks at you. Because, so on leg days, I know you're not getting any pictures in with anybody. But
no, that's a brutal day, baby.
I know when you were sitting down with Summer and Seth Feroci was there, and people would be talking to Seth, and then all of a sudden come over like, "Hey, man, I really appreciate your channel," and like.
Yeah.
That's the type of, I think people look to see when you're chilled and you're not sweating and you're not working out.
Yeah, I will talk to anyone in the world.
Oh, I've been there, so
even like I get, and let me know, I embrace it all. I remember being, just starting this, when I was 17 years old, and I said, that's the life I want to live.
Yeah.
And I'm now beginning to live it.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it all. Like I don't even care if I'm out to eat and somebody's like, "Hey, do you mind if I get a?" Sure, I'll take 1 million. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm at a point right now where nothing is really pressuring me or stressing me out because I realize one day this is all going to go away.
Of course.
This isn't forever.
Yeah.
And you have to embrace it and live in the moment for it.
And to say that, I think that's exactly what Jay Cutler's vision was, and I think that's why he's been so successful. I've actually met Jay at shows. And he'll literally take 1 million photos of people, he'll come aside and actually talk to you.
It's one of those humbling feelings that never get old.
Yeah.
I stood in line to meet Jay
for an hour.
Well, I remember I had friends that went to the expo when Phil Heath was Mr. Olympia, and I remember people waited all the way until they closed for him, and then he actually left exactly on time when he's supposed to leave when it closed. And obviously, people don't leave on time.
Right.
And when you got people waiting for you like that, come on, dude.
You got to do it.
Yeah, like I get
even if you don't want to, you got to do it, man.
Because at the end of the day, these are the people that are feeding you everything.
They paid money to see you.
Yes, and you got to have respect for that because I mean, I always put myself in the person's shoes. Like, like when we were with Seth Feroci the other day, I keep mentioning Seth. Seth, I love you.
Seth's a great guy.
You're a great guy.
Yes.
We love you, Seth.
I can't wait till we
see you
actually
in Pittsburgh,
do,
homie.
Pittsburgh. I'm gonna bring all this equipment. We're gonna do a little podcast. It's gonna be great.
We'll invite you to the hotel room.
Yeah, of course. It's gonna be epic. But when we were literally seeing Seth Feroci, some kid came over. He's like, "Hey man, would you mind if I ask you a question about your camera?" And I talked to this kid for like 30 minutes about how to shoot. He's like, and he literally messaged me an hour later on social media. And he's like, "Dude, I really appreciate you taking the time to teach me this." He goes, "I'm really new to this."
Yeah, little things like that go a long way for people, and it makes you feel good.
Yeah, like I told you, I was about a year ago in July. I picked up a camera, and I was doing camera stuff for a while. But last July, I had Mitch from Gill Productions. Mitch, love you, dude.
Matt's camera guy.
Yeah, Matt Jansen's camera guy. He's out there.
Great guy.
Great guy. He'll literally.
You'll probably
content.
meet him. He'll be in Pittsburgh. Okay. So.
But he literally, that guy, he did a shoot for me. Was the most humblest guy. And he just got it done, and he literally was the same. He started a year before I actually started doing it, so he was brand new as well. But I would text him all the time, asking him how to do this, how to do that. This guy would literally stop what he was doing, text me, call me, And it's that's that little stuff like that where you're all in the industry, you're all doing the same stuff, but you're trying to help each other.
Yep, I think it's
And
important.
That's why starting soon, me and Nick, after his prep, after he's pro and gets all of his stuff done, we are going to start collaborating with more people. Working out. We want to collaborate with more pros. We want to just start filling the community with more stuff. So I want you guys to drop a comment down below and basically tell us what you guys want to see and who you want us to train with that's in the industry.
Even
Because
what gym, too.
Yeah, even what gym. If you guys have a gym that's maybe local to us, or if we're in the area at the time, we will go to that gym. And also, just put someone in the comments on who you think would be great to be with Nick. I want to see who they match him with. We got Larry Wheels a couple weeks ago, and they said, yo, you should train with Larry Wheels. And Larry Wheels is pretty much down, so we're going to be collaborating with him soon. But,
I got to let my strength get back a little bit.
Yeah, so like I said, maybe a month or two in the season.
Yeah. That's going to...
But this is about all the time we got. We're going on another little break, and then we'll be right back, everybody. Right, everybody, we are back, and this is the third segment we're going to have. I'm going to let Mrs. Walker take over here and basically start talking to Nick and kind of interact a little bit here and there. But Mrs. Walker, go ask your questions to Nick. Nick, ask your questions to them. I want to kind of hear what you have to say, Nick.
I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Do you live in your mom's basement?
No, my brother does. I have my own room in the house. Thank you.
Just so you know, everybody, his
Just
brother's
so
right next to us
everyone
making
knows,
food. So that's why we have to say that. Well, that's a good opener right there.
Little joke for
All
you,
right.
huh?
Yeah.
So what else are we going to talk about?
Mom, did you ever truly think I'd get to this level?
Yes.
I think we asked that question.
Did we?
Yeah, it's all
Whatever,
right.
dude.
Yes.
We're at that point where, like, we kind of tackled a lot of stuff, and
Oh, I got one.
I know you're
I got
very
one. I got
true.
one. I got one. Being the mother of a bodybuilder, what do you find the hardest part about it?
in detail.
I didn't say in detail, my friend.
Well, prep used to be horrendous, but this one's better. I guess all the negativity, because I read everything.
Yeah, that's true.
So hearing how cruel people could be, and
Of course.
People don't think before they type.
Well, it's like you said earlier. This is someone's son you're talking to,
Right.
and that's something like my grandmother would say. Like, that's my grandson you're talking to. So I can kind of relate to that, where people are saying the horrendous stuff on social media and everything, and it's just like, where are you really going with this? We know you guys are trolls, but come on. Like, that's all you are.
Yeah, there's
internet
so many
trolls.
times I want to type stuff and then I delete
And
it.
then you delete it.
Type it again, delete
I type it again and delete it
Yeah.
because, but it's my instinct to, protect my children. So,
I'll tell you right now, I think the best thing that we started doing is when Nick started interacting more with his vlogs, and I mean in the premieres that we do with YouTube, where he talks to people in live chat. I started noticing when we did that more that it started growing more positivity towards Nick.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I started noticing people really coming back at you and
Yeah.
more positive thinking, because, like I said, you're just a regular guy that's on this level of being pro, and you're still talking to, like, you know what I mean? You haven't changed your mindset at all. You're still talking to your viewers. You're still saying good morning to everybody and all that. And, like, I think that's been the biggest thing with YouTube, and I think that's how we've grown so much, is that you really do interact with people as much as you can. Now, these last couple of weeks, I can't really say that, because we've all been focused on these last couple days, these last few weeks of, like, really fine tuning you. But it's another separation, I think, that is so. It's really, I don't want to say an emotional level, but like I said, we were just talking about being those kids looking at bodybuilders, and the littlest things right there matter the most. You know what I mean? And when people are asking you questions about, hey, what bicep workout do you do? And you're like, well, I don't really work biceps that much, but these are the bicep workouts we do. And that's what kind of took off when we started doing the Quick Tip Tuesday.
Well, I
So,
hope people are getting to know him better and not
Yeah.
believe what other people might have said, you know.
I'll admit, before I met Nick, I'll admit, since we have to be honest here, I didn't judge off of first sight, because obviously, you know, there's this thing where people say, you know, big intimidating people. He didn't really seem intimidating to me. Maybe it's because I worked around bodybuilders, but he kind of, you know, it's not like he had a stubborn face where he's like angry and stuff.
Right.
Like, he was just a regular dude, and I saw him talking to other people. But a lot of people would say negative things about him, like, oh, yeah, he's a real asshole. I'm like, do you really know him, though?
Right.
Like, do you really know him? Like, well, no, he just, you know, he walks around like this. I'm like, well, dude, that's body language. Everybody
Right.
has different body language. And you've been in a gym as long as we have. Body language is everything, but it doesn't tell you much, because everybody goes off of body language. You're not talking. You all have your headphones on. You go off of people's movements, and
you're in the gym.
you're in the gym.
Like,
And
you're
I feel
you're
like
putting
you
work
should
in.
Get
Yeah.
to know somebody before you talk shit.
Of course. And that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing here. And like I said, me and Nick were talking about somebody at the gym from last week that started talking about Nick to one of Nick's friends, not knowing. And the guy stopped and looked at him. He goes, do you actually fucking know this guy?
Right.
He's like, I know him on a personal level. He's a great dude. And the dude shut up immediately and got back to his workout. But, like, it's stuff like that. Like, people want to pass judgment off of looks, off of
Right.
the YouTube, the social media. But at the same time, we're doing a great approach as far as showing your different sides. Because I capture everything that we do. And like I said, that's why I'm going to Pittsburgh, because I want to see all.
Well, you might see some dark side of
There's
that.
there's gonna be, but again, we're all here for the raw side of everything. You know,
Yeah,
people
bro,
that want to
yeah.
look up to you and be a bodybuilder one day or be pro, they got to see the good and the bad. And like I said, you know, it rains sometimes before the sun comes out.
Absolutely.
And there's gonna be times where you're just not feeling talking, but you still talk, and I think that's the great part about you. But
I would definitely say this is the first prep I've been the most interactive. That's for sure.
yeah.
I think it's helped.
Yeah,
Right.
it's helped make this prep go smoother, less stressful, and just overall more fun.
Well, it's fun.
because I enjoy actually making the YouTube videos, which
Yeah.
I think overall just makes the training fun.
Yeah.
You know,
I would like to address his coach.
Oh,
He
Mac.
gets, yes.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of bad press.
He does. He
But
does.
I will say, we've been through a few coaches,
Yeah.
and we've been with him for how long now?
over 2 years now.
Yes. And whatever you hear, it's not true. He is a
Yeah.
great, great coach.
And
Yeah.
at this point, he's, you know, I look at Matt as, yes, he is my coach, but he's also one of my best friends. He's also
Yeah.
like a family member to me now, and he's a great mentor.
Yeah.
I've never even met him yet, but I text him and he responds.
Yep.
Yeah, like I never met him,
And-
and I know him as on the business side, because obviously I do the content for Raw Nutrition with Nick. So, you know, I talk to him business wise, but there's just sometimes he just regularly talks to me, and he's referred me to people already for content. And like I said, really nice guy.
He's
Always,
a good guy, yeah.
he'll even explain to me. He's like, "I'm sorry I couldn't get back to you this time." He goes,
Yeah.
"I was busy all morning with clients," and he'll apologize for that sometimes. I'm like, "No, it's okay. I'm just letting you know that me and Nick are doing this today, just keeping you up to date."
He's always willing to
So
help.
again,
Yeah.
I feel like people should form their own opinions.
Of course.
And check it out for themselves.
I've noticed that people have never worked with Matt. They have their comments because, like I said, the negativity with Dallas, the
Right.
negativity with other people he's worked with, and again, get to know somebody first before you
Right.
start passing judgment. I get
Exactly.
you've heard things, but how far along was the fish this big, and then it got to this big? You know what I
Right,
mean?
Right, exactly.
And
That's
even outside of coaching, I've got to spend time with him at
Yeah.
his house.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's a great family man.
yeah.
He loves his
Well, I
wife.
know his kids.
He
I
loves
see
it.
all the stuff.
Oh,
he's
I
doing
love
now.
his family.
Yeah.
Jordan, his 2 kids, Walker, Dallas. Like
Yeah.
I'm Uncle Nick to them.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
like I absolutely love his family. They're like one of the perfect like family. You know, they're just they treat each other so good. It's awesome. It's just awesome to see that.
He
you
does
know?
have that on-off switch with work and family.
He does. He knows when to flip it. He
Yeah.
knows when to play with the kids. You know.
Yeah.
I know he stresses with it at some point,
course.
but he's very good at controlling it and knowing what to do. So, and like I said, he's just a great person to like look up to.
Of course.
You know,
It's good to be, honestly, the whole family side of everything.
and he's young.
There's balance.
I believe he just turned 31.
Yeah.
He's young.
There's a lot of balance in everything.
Yeah.
Life has balance with family and everything. And like I said, you have a lot of balance when it comes to you and Summer and your family.
I'm learning. I'm getting gradually better.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little better.
All right, well, here, let's. How do you feel, Mrs. Walker? Do you think he's getting better at it? You think slowly?
Very slow.
Very slow. Turtle slow.
Well, even with Summer, you know, I'll be honest. This is probably the first prep that I've had a relationship that lasted throughout the whole prep. And even she's been great. She
does put up with your shit.
Yeah.
she
I will admit
does
that.
put up with
She
my
puts
shit.
up with his shit. Trust me, everybody. I filmed with them.
But also, you know,
I feel like her personality goes well with your personality.
corresponds. I agree. You know, she knows when to leave me alone.
Yeah.
She knows exactly when to check on me.
Right.
And she doesn't overstep any boundaries.
Yeah.
She's very good, and I'm very thankful that I have her.
Think about it in this way, though, because I obviously did a YouTube video with you guys when you did the leg workout. And being both competitors, it makes things a lot easier because she knows emotionally what you're going through at times. And she's had you this prep from the times, you know, I've talked to her. And, like, because every time I'll pull her aside and be like, so how is he? And she goes, he's doing okay.
He's
like,
okay.
I'll always ask, like, is he all right? How's he feeling today? And she goes, he's a little tired, but he's all right.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be here, but like he's willing to train. He wants to train right now.
Yeah.
But you know, and I've seen how she's helped you even with the leg workouts. You're like, dude, my girl's strong as shit with
Dude,
legs.
well, she's actually I don't normally like training with people, period.
Yeah.
But I actually thoroughly enjoy training with her in particular because she is strong and she does work hard, and we both push each other. Like, you don't find that too often in a couple, you know.
No.
So
and when you do find it, it's magical, man.
It's special. Yeah, and I enjoy it. I do. Whenever she asks if she can train with me, I say yeah, of course, because I know it's gonna be a good workout. So
of course. Well, like I said, when we did that one YouTube vlog where you guys were doing legs, I remember that golden picture I had of like you dying on the leg press, and then she's just smiling.
She's
and
smiling
she's
down
just
like,
screaming,
yeah, bitch, suffer.
Right. But you guys both motivate each other and push each other, which is great. And like I said, when you're not prepping and she has time for her show, you're going to be the exact same way with her.
Well, she's in prep now, you know, and I text her every morning and say, you know, how you feeling? How's prep? You know, she just got a new job, so I always, you know, ask how that's been going. Yeah. It's just little things that you just do. Yeah. You know, just it shouldn't come with question. You just do it. Yeah. You know.
I will comment on that because I haven't commented, but like you guys have a very, very strong relationship. Like I said, from the times I've always asked her, she's always honest with me and tells me how you're doing. And you guys have that kind of relationship that I think some people are actually jealous of. Because
me and her are very brutally honest with each other.
I know.
We have no secrets. we hold no barriers. She asks me a question, I'll tell her straight up, and vice versa.
I think because you had your mom around your whole life, I think she made you kind of prone to that, being blunt and being very radically honest. And
I'm my mother 2.0.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I am.
He's me, but worse, really.
So having your mom and then your girlfriend supportive of you, I mean, that's honestly, I think that's how you made it so far, man. I mean, that and your work ethic and everything else that you do, and genetics. Let's just put it together.
Yeah.
The calves 2.0.
The calves. It's all in the calves, baby.
The calves 2.0.
Exactly.
I will comment, though. I dated somebody that was a competitor one time. It's probably the worst 2 weeks of my life. This girl changed her diet around, I guess, when we started talking to each other. And, dude, I couldn't handle it. She was going back and I thought it was The Exorcist, dude. I didn't know what to do with myself.
That was like my first prep.
Oh, dude.
I was rough.
So, prior relationships this summer, like, how did they feel about your bodybuilding, and were they supportive at all when it came to the shows and anything?
Well, the one I dated before her, you know, that ended like 2 months into the prep, and that's just because I don't think we meshed too well.
Yeah.
So it was better we ended it now than like closer to a show.
Of course.
But
Those emotions,
the one prior, going way back, I'm looking at my mom's face.
Your mom's making some faces at me, so I don't know what that means, but
I won't be as blunt as my mother would like to be.
Yeah.
She was a nightmare.
She was the devil. No, but she was really supportive, actually,
yeah.
until about the night before the show.
That's when they do it too. They pull it right out from underneath
Like,
you.
she
the night before the
literally
show.
ended it the night before the show.
She would make sure he was at his most vulnerable state.
Of course.
And then she'd break up with him.
Oh,
So,
narcissist.
yes. So, you know, that just didn't go well.
Yeah.
She didn't like me.
Well, you didn't like her, so it was
Yeah,
even
and
down.
that's why she's not around.
Well,
But I've noticed that when it comes to like competitors, and I like being backstage and stuff at these local shows, is that like I see these supportive dudes with their girlfriends and stuff, but I also see them like going through it at the show, and I'm like, why are you guys in your emotions and stuff right now at the show? Like, I get it's emotional, but like save the shit for at home with the relationship stuff.
But I feel like a lot of females can't handle the lifestyle.
yeah, so
yeah,
Because it's very selfish.
it is.
Oh, it
So
is.
for me, after that relationship, I almost thought, because this is the career path I want to take,
yeah,
I had it set in my mind, I really can't be in a relationship because this is going to be my life. Even if the girl, you know, a million times, oh, I can handle it.
Yeah,
No,
They
the
always say that.
no, the
Yeah.
fuck
They
you
always say
can't.
that. Yeah.
You know, so I never believed it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we'll see. And like, it would be like, if we got in like one argument in prep, I'm like, all right, you're out. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I never would talk to them again.
Yeah.
You know, and somewhere only, you know, it changed my perspective a little bit,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, there's always that one person that comes along and they change everything up, and they're like, "Damn, I was giving up on love altogether. Now, now I'm getting back into love again. Oh
Yeah,
my
right.
god!" But I will say that you need a supportive system, whether it's your family or the person that you're dating.
You do,
'cause-
and I always said, as much as this is a lonely sport,
Yeah.
so to speak, having that support system is everything.
Yeah.
You know, it goes a lot further than just doing it yourself.
Yeah.
So like, I'm thankful that I have that because not too many people do.
Yeah.
And I do think in the beginning of a lot of my preps and previous shows, I took that for granted.
Yeah.
Yes.
And but
We'll
now
elaborate a little bit more
The
with
cooking,
you.
the shopping, the tanning. Yep.
but now I see the other side,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it a lot more.
Listen,
know.
man, this has been your best prep, and like I said, I think this whole concoction of everything all fell together at the same time, and now we're just going forward, man, and
Yeah.
we're riding this big ass wave to your pro card. And honestly, dude, I'm just excited. Hopefully, yes.
I'm optimistically,
Thanks, Mom.
It's okay.
yeah, I'm being conservative.
We're not. We're winning.
I'm not going to be conservative. We're taking it, everybody. We're taking it.
Not just the pro card, the overall.
Yes, all the checks too.
All the-
Cashing checks and snapping necks. But no, in all reality, I'm very hopeful for what's going to happen. Like I said, your positive mindset towards everything the past couple weeks. I was really going to talk some shit to everybody when he told me to be honest, but in all reality, like, I've been very honest. He's been very in tune, the mindset, but it also, like, everything has been just so straightforward and everything's been
Yeah.
great, dude. And like I said, the YouTube channel, which we're like, let's just try it out. It's spiraled out of control,
Yeah.
like out of nowhere. And like I said, the one photo we put up of you got 16K likes in one day.
Which one?
Well, there's actually a lot of them.
Well, the ones we
There's-
just posted with that classic physique guy,
Yeah.
like that blew it up, bro.
Yeah, I
that was
know.
cool, man.
Because I was like, you know what, dude? Instead of just having let's do some classic physique stuff.
Right.
And my buddy Eric came the one day. I said, hey, would you mind posing next to Nick? And there was some negative comments. Obviously, they're like, that guy looks like he doesn't do even lift, bro. Like I saw
Yeah.
that one comment. It's like, it looks like that guy doesn't even lift compared to Nick. But my friend Eric's gonna actually be at that Pittsburgh show with Nick, and
I
really,
think he's
really
gonna
humble
do really
dude.
well.
Yeah, really humble guy. Loved his posing, everything, and I don't know if he told you, when we were there, they had like documentary people at Tilla's. And the guy's like, yo, I'd love to film you guys. And he put like little clips in there. He's like, oh, it might be in the documentary they do. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I said, cha-ching.
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 Yep.
But we got 4-5 minutes left. Is there anything we want to touch up on, Mrs. Walker, before we get off of here? Anything you want to comment on? Because I know you like to keep it blunt. And I like that. Nick likes to keep it blunt, but you like to keep it blunt.
You get the final say, mother.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see parents like to see their children's dreams come true. So
course.
it's nice to be part of this and watch everything.
Of course.
He's worked so hard. People are like, oh, he's so young. He's pushing it. He's been doing this for 8 long years.
Yeah.
I can't eat healthy for one day.
Half a day.
8 years
an
of
hour. He's been doing it for 8 years. Like I know there's people that are older, but I think it's a long time. We've done many shows.
Yeah.
I feel like it's time for him to move to the next level. If we have to do another regular show, it's going to be embarrassing.
I'm getting tired of it too. I'm ready for these expos where we're literally just all day meeting people. I'm excited.
We walk into a regular show, they think he's the guest poser.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm competing.
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh my God, it's time to go to the next level.
I think that is crazy that like some people, I mean, it's not some people, almost all the people we deal with that don't know you at first, they think you're already a professional bodybuilder. And it's like, come on now.
It's
come
funny.
on.
I had somebody comment and said, hey, are you going to be in Tampa for the New York Pro? Are you doing it? And I'm like, I'm not a
I think
pro.
I saw that. What was that on
Yeah.
Instagram? Or was
Yeah,
that
it was on
the-
Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I think
I'm
I
not,
saw that.
I was like, I'm not a pro yet.
That was the girl at
Yeah.
the Tillis. Yeah,
And she was like, oh, you look so good. I thought you were.
those
I'm
comments.
like, well, hopefully the same weekend I will be.
Yeah. I'm praying. I'm praying
Yeah.
we're
Me
taking
too.
it all home.
Me too.
And we're going to do a podcast as soon as we get there and as soon as after. And it's going to be awesome.
And everybody who says that he's too big,
yeah.
do they watch the Olympia? Do they need glasses? Like, if you want to go to the next level,
Yeah.
he has to be big to be competitive at that particular stage of the game.
Tell them, Mama Walker.
You remember
I don't get it.
what was the comments that were the most negative was his waistline. And then we put that to sleep very quickly with
Right.
the waist trainers.
Right.
Me and Matt, we have
took
demolished
care
every
of that
almost
quick.
negativity
Yeah.
that I have gotten so far.
Every time you mention it, anytime you mention an issue to Matt, he finds a solution very quickly. Because not too long ago when we started the YouTube channel, it was just like, look at that waistline, look at this, look at that. I'm like, and then 2 weeks later, I was like, your waist getting smaller. What's going on here?
Well,
and
Nick,
Matt took care of it.
when Nicholas is
handled
in
it.
Yeah.
off season, Nicholas
Yeah.
can grow
Oh yeah, of
very
course.
quickly,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he could shred just as quickly.
Of course.
He's got that ability to go both ways, and people see him in the off season and are like, "Oh my God, it's too big. He's this," and I'm thinking, just wait when the ball starts rolling.
So the infamous question I got to ask you, you both got to be honest. So who decided to put the cinnamon on the chicken?
Oh, that wasn't me. That's him.
Okay, all right.
So actually, that was when I used to work with Jeff Long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he said, put cinnamon on your rice. He said it tastes good. So before I used to separate my rice
Yeah.
with my chicken and just put a little mustard on that and a little cinnamon,
Yeah.
and it was good. And then I got to a point where I was like, fuck it, let's all mash it together. and I was just something
Kinda
I
like-
did.
kinda
And
like-
now we have a film of cinnamon all over the kitchen. It's like,
Cinnamon.
yeah.
It's
Gotta go to
good.
Costco and get those big 5-gallon drums of
yeah,
them.
we get the big ones. hmm
It's good. If you
We should
haven't
do- we
tried
should
it,
do
you
it.
should try it.
We should do the cinnamon challenge with Nick and see how far he gets past it with
No.
the tablespoon cinnamon. Come on, dude. You know people are going to see that.
I know they do. People want to see everything.
We're going to do everything, everybody. Listen, drop a comment down below, everybody. Let us know how you like this podcast. This is a brand new thing that we're trying to do. Like I said, name gyms you want us to come to. Name professional bodybuilders or people that are on their way to being pro that you want us to train with and collaborate with. Me and Nick are down to make content. We're trying to push out, not every day, probably 3-4 times a week, as much content as we can now. make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you watch these comments because now you know who's watching, which is Mama Walker.
Yes.
Mama Walker. And if she sees you at the show, I'm sorry, but you're on your own.
We will not defend you.
Yeah. We are not helping anybody. But this has been a great podcast, especially our first podcast. I hope you like these 3 segments we did, everybody. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Mrs. Walker, and finally meeting you. This went better than I thought. I thought this was going to be something we would have to trash, but we were completely honest with everything, and this went very well.
No, this was fun, yeah.
Any last words, Nick?
No, I just thank my mother for coming on, and I'm sure she'll want to do these again. Thank you. And
this might be the last video we do while you're not pro. So anything you want to say to your future self?
I'm going to be a pro in 10 days.
10 days from now, watch out. Watch out, everybody.
But yeah, you know.
Just don't forget where you came from.
Yeah, don't ever, for anyone, no matter how big you become, famous, whatever, always remember where your roots are and never forget that. And, you know, before I go, thank Matt, all my sponsors, Raw, Revive, Iron Rebel, MegaFit.
All be in the description down below, all the promo codes, just in case anybody wants anything, you know. Got you guys.
Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my videos. And Walkernation out.
All right.
Trigger, bitch!